My lateness, my tardiness tonight is not my fault. Turn on the light. My tardiness tonight is not my fault. It's my sweetest fault. I blame her. I'm typing in go to YouTube on IG. I'm typing in go to YouTube on IG right now, and then I'm gonna be right there with you all. And for anyone who pulling up on IG, go to YouTube if you would like to be actively be an active part of it's my the live. You know what I'm saying? Go to YouTube, youtube.com/NewTLR. Now, this right here, if you don't know what this is, if you're in the South, if you're from the South, you understand what it means when the Krispy Kreme hot sign is on. You totally get it. You understand what it means when the Krispy Kreme hot. And then if you're wondering why you can see through this donut, right? If you wonder why you can see, because this is the St. Patrick's Day green donut with the glaze, right? This glaze is so glazy, it's blocking the green from the only place you can see the green is like in where the top and the bottom glaze meet, right? So it's filtering out that green, but this it's my wife's fault. Wow. Like, do you think you're gonna walk in my house at 6:28 p.m. with a box of Krispy Kremes from when the hot sign on, and I'm not gonna partake? Stop playing with me, man. Stop. And this ain't my first one. I done inhaled about 14 of them already. About 14. And she can bring nothing but a dozen. I done ate some donuts out of somebody else's car. Hey, man. What's happening? Y'all drop in the chat. Drop something in the chat so I can see who in here with me while I finish up this donut. Or it's going to be gone soon. See, it's green. That's why you can't see any of that right there. Y'all know how I be doing. See, it's green. It's a green donut right there. Right there. It's a green donut with a glaze on it. Right there. All right. What's going on, everybody? What's up, here to learn, Chef? Tranisha, what's good? Straight sugar. You feel me? Straight sugar. But you will not walk into Rogers' household I never knew how big they celebrate this holiday until I moved here. hey, when I was in Savannah, when I was in Hinesville, when I was at Fort Stewart, in Savannah, they make the river green. When you go out there on the river walk, on the riverfront out there, the whole river be green. I'm like, is St. Patrick's Day that crucial? You walk, you like, everybody be out there and they partying, got their green on, their hats and drinking. And yeah. It's crazy. I told you. And she say, I'm in Savannah. Like, it's crazy over there, man. It is crazy. Hey, man, let's get into it, man. It's huge in St. Louis. Okay. Yeah, it don't get crazy like that in Columbus, but in Savannah, oh my goodness. I'm like, y'all ain't even Irish over here. What's going on? Is it Irish? St. Patrick, that's Irish? I don't know. I did not mean to offend anyone by that statement. I'm sorry. You got Whoopi Goldberg out here apologizing for something that we've been saying since I'm 50. You know what I'm saying? I'm 50. We been saying gypped. Man, they gypped me. We ain't know that was offensive to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden, the gypsies, the people that's gypsy, what is it, Romanian people that's gypsies, they get offended by saying you gypsy. I never knew. And then to top it all off, the word is actually in the dictionary. So why you got the word in the dictionary if it's supposed to be so offensive? Man, I digress. I'm sorry, y'all. But Whoopi Goldberg had to apologize again for something she said on The View. Yes, luck of the Irish. Thank you. If this is first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, please allow me to be the first one to say welcome. If it's not your first time tuning in, y'all already know the lick read. Y'all know me. I know y'all. We cool. We family. If you don't know who I am, which I doubt, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr. I get on Al Gore's internet every single day and I talk about the price action in the hopes to help someone like you get your aha moment when it comes to trade and invest in all things stock market. Why do I do it for the free 99? Because that's my business. In my Tabitha Brown voice, because that's my business. Right now, we have come to the part of the week, which is a Friday evening after the market has closed. This is where we typically do the weekly wrap up, right? We discuss our week, how our week went, but I've been trying to move away from that because the more I think about it, the more I don't want everybody sharing their business on Al Gore's internet, because I'm a very paranoid person. And since I don't want to share my own stuff on there, I don't want you to share your stuff either. I don't want you to put your stuff out there, because people know how to count. People know how to go back and do their due diligence and find out, oh, if they said they did this, and they said they did that, they probably got that amount of money. And then they could be walking around Savannah looking for someone who looked like a Tranisha and run up on them at the St. Patrick's Day parade and say, stick them up. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to do today, I want to continue a conversation that we started this morning. For anyone who was not, what's up, Doc? What's going on, Doc? Shout out to artist formerly known as Doc Nolan. And Tranisha say, pull up. They call me Two Pistols, Tammy Two Pistols. Me and Alexandra, they call us Tammy Two Pistols. We got the 9 milli and the 380. Pull up. Hey, shout out to artist formerly known as Doc Nolan. That's my dude. He's a real doctor. He's not just, you know what I'm saying, fronting. Okay, I'm out. First time. And what's the topic? Donuts. Okay, I'm out. Okay, so let me see. Stan, if you're still in here, can you please put in the chat that you're just joking? Because if you're not joking, I'm about to block you. If you're not joking, I'm about to block you. Because I got this set. I got this set that only subscribers can comment. And if you're a subscriber, you know how I get down. And you're saying this, you said first time, and what's the topic? Donuts with a question mark. And then you said, okay, I'm out. I'm giving you an opportunity right now to say, oh, I'm joking. You're taking too long, Stan. So I'm going to find you on YouTube. Can I do it from here? Can I do it from this one here? Baby, can you ban people from here? Yeah. He gone. But I want to make sure I ban him. Block user. You out of there, Stan. Block user. Stan Bam was blocked. All right, you blocked. Oh yeah, I got to. I got to, Michelle. You know how I am. You know how I am. Okay, Stan. Stan is, I want to make sure is blocked. I'll look that up later. I'll look that up later on YouTube to make sure. 2023, y'all know what the link read, man. It's all I'm protecting my peace at all costs. And I will spend 3 extra minutes banning somebody. Stan Bam. Yes, I will spend 3 extra minutes banning somebody so that they don't never have to come back to my channel again and see me eat donuts. You know what I'm saying? And see me eat donuts. Okay, now, like I was about to say before I got distracted by Stan Bam making a comment about my donuts, right? It's my channel. I can do what I want to do. I'm taking my own time to sit on here and help people. And you mad because I want to eat a snack? You know what I'm saying? Get off my live. Drop the link. Drop the pull-up link. Hold up. What's up, Lil Hawk? What you got? Baby, do we still got any donuts left? Father Legend say he want a Krispy Kreme. They go the link right there. Lil Hawk, what's up? What's up, Lil Hawk? Hey, what I was saying before I was interrupted by Stan Bam, I was going to continue a conversation. For those who wasn't on this morning's live, not for me, but for everyone, for anyone, I wasn't putting the link in there for that. I thought you want the link. The link, I don't put the link up for this right here. The link is for the Black Spider thing. I put the link up randomly if I want to invite people up. Look, leave me alone. Hey, this morning, the homie Towns, Davadio, Gabriel, even, he got a bunch of names, right? He pulled up this morning. These are 15-minute candles, by the way, for those who like to know what the time frame is, right? I'm shrinking this, I'm squanching this, you know, the actual individual candles, you know what I'm saying, don't really matter right now, right? So I'm squanching this down because these are 15 minutes. Let's go up to 60 minutes real quick. We're going to do a quick recap for everybody who wasn't on the live this morning and who didn't stick it out with us, right? So on the live this morning, we were discussing how this morning at the London session, before the London, I did a sim trade to test something that I normally don't do, which is the turtle soup, and it played out. And then during London, I sim traded a short that I usually do, and it played out, right? The reason why I sim trade stuff, especially on a Friday, is because curse you during market, I will not give back any profits that I've made throughout the week. So I talked about if you have a good week, don't risk it for the biscuit on Friday. And if you have a bad week, you know what I'm saying, don't risk it for the Rari on Friday. Meaning you're trying to get back everything and more. You're risking it for the Rari when you're trying to get a home run, right? You're risking it for the biscuit when you're just trying to get you're being greedy. You're trying to get a little bit more. You're being greedy, right? So if I just have to push a button, I would sim trade to get it out my system. Then I said the reason why I did both of these trades was because this down here in this shaded area that I'm about to highlight was deemed to be a we deemed all of this right here. Let's go to that candle right there. Yep, that's the candle there. We deemed all of this right here to be a balanced price range. This whole little area right there. We said that's a balanced price range. And we deemed that to be a balanced price range because this candle right here, right? Actually, these two candles, but this candle right here is the candle that left this entire area. So this leaving of that area from this 10 o'clock candle, that'll be 9. So on Ninja Trader, so 10/9, 11/10, and 12/11 o'clock candles. This is the move that deemed all of this a balanced price range, because we have several balanced price ranges within here. If you don't know what a balanced price range is, go back and study that. I'm just doing a quick review for those who wasn't on here this morning and people don't want to go back and look at a 2-hour live, right? So once we left that area, we got up into a daily fair value gap that we talked about. I shared this picture yesterday at 1:19 p.m. and asked somebody to remind me to talk about this. The Eraser Liquor said he didn't want to talk about it last night, so we didn't discuss it last night. So I came back and discussed it this morning, right? So this is the area that we was looking at, the fair value gap. We was looking for it to get back up to this fair value gap and then shorten off of the fair value gap to come back down, right? Before we got to that, I sent out to the black spiders. I said, hey, if we break market structure right here on this white line, I'm expecting price to attack this fair value gap. This was prior to. I'm saying all of this to encourage somebody. I'm not here trying to toot my own horn, right? A lot of people get cocky. A lot of people get cocky, toot their own horn, but you have people out here that's giving out good information that's not cocky, but when you talk about the information in a manner of you know what you're talking about, a lot of people like to immediately say you're being cocky or tooting your own horn, right? And it's sad that we live in a world that I got to say this over and over, but I do. Sent out to the black spiders because I didn't do the live with them to watch the price action live with them. I said, hey, as it was happening, you see the candles taking here. I said, hey, if we get a break in market structure here, that's supposed to say I will look. If we get a break in market structure here, look to attack daily bearish fair value gap. This is the market structure. That's the buy side liquidity. That's the fair value gap right there, right? I sent that out to them inside the membership thing, right? So boom, once we hit that area, I sent this back out to them with the eyeballs looking at it, right? I was like, that was fast. We hit it quick, right? Boom, right there. Just as an encouragement of, hey, it is possible to anticipate where price is going with a very high degree of accuracy, right? And then I sent out, not that. And then I posted this in the Discord and said, somebody remind me to talk about this later. The reason why I wanted to be reminded to talk about this later, I don't know why it keeps doing that. The feds are watching us, was because I was going to talk about shorting off the top of the daily fair value gap, right? Shorten up. And then that's what I did this morning in the sim trade. That's what I did this morning in the sim trade. And my target was the low that I did the sim trade of the turtle soup off of, right? So I did a turtle soup off of the low over here at 6 o'clock/5 o'clock candle. Did a turtle soup off of that. It worked out beautifully, right? Then I did a short off of the top of the daily fair value gap, which was up here. And the reason why I was shorting that, because it was a daily fair value gap, which had come into this hourly fair value gap right up here. This is all a quick review for everybody. I can't do anything quick, right? This hourly fair value gap, we had come into an hourly fair value gap right there. For everybody who need to see it, I'll go back through it just for everybody who needs to see it, right? We're going to move the balance. Well, we'll leave the balance price range, right? This was the daily fair value gap right there. That's the one on the picture, right? That's the one on the picture, right? Oh, let's do this right here. We're going to make the daily fair value gap with the quads so that we can talk about that. Boom. So now the daily fair value gap has been made with the quads. So that's the same area. It's just broke down into quadrants, right? That's the bottom, that's the top, and then those are the quadrants in there. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles. That's the quads, right? So going back down to the hourly candles, right? This is the top of the daily fair value gap right there. The 1. The 0 is the bottom. I was talking about shorting the top of the daily fair value gap because the top of the daily fair value gap was right around consequent encroachment of this hourly fair value gap. And we were not attacking that consequent encroachment. We weren't attacking it. We were dilly-dallying, right? And since we were dilly-dallying after we have hit a destination, y'all know when we hit the destination, I checked for the divergence. It was giving me the divergence, so that further made me want to short off the top of that daily fair value gap. I said, okay, since we're not attacking the consequent encroachment, we're struggling to fill this fair value gap, right, of the hourly. The top of the daily fair value gap is right around consequent encroachment. So I will sell the top of this fair value gap, right, down to the low from the 6 o'clock / 5 o'clock candle, right? That was my theory. That was my thesis. That's what worked out. Then the homie Towns pulled up, and fast forward now. Oh, wait a minute. I still got to go through. The homie Towns pulled up. He was asking questions about the NQ, about the SPY and the QQQ. We talked about because he wanted to short the Qs. I said it's fine to want to short the Qs, but right now the Qs, aka the NQ, is the relative strength leader, right? Let me pull up the NQ and the Dow. So this is the NQ. This is the Dow, right? So looking at, we can look, let's squanch it up again. These still hourly candles. Looking at, right? I don't need this no more. Let's hide that. Got my screen looking like Angela's screen. This is the I don't need that one no more either, because we already talked about that. And then I don't need that one no more either, because we talked about this. I think we talked about that. I'll leave it there just in case we didn't. Okay, so looking at the NQ, the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P 500, right? You can clearly see that ever since, we can go all the way back to March 6th. We can go all the way back to March 6th, right? All the way back to March 6th, and we can clearly see that the NQ has been the relative strength leader ever since March 6th, right? Right, ever since March 6th. We can clearly see that it's been the relative strength leader ever since March 6th, right? So the NASDAQ has been the relative strength leader since March 6th, right? He was wanting to short the Qs because he like, man, why the Qs not dropping? The ES is tanking. Why the Qs not dropping? I said, look, this is my way of thinking. 9 times out of 10, you want to short the relative weakness leader, and you want to buy the relative strength leader when you get the confirmation to the downside or the upside. Let me say that again with more clarity. If you want to short and you have gotten a downside confirmation, meaning a short entry confirmation, it behooves you to be 9 times out of 10, it makes more sense to short the weakness leader, right? It makes sense to short the weakness leader. In this case, it would be the Dow, because the Dow has been the weakest over time, right? If you don't play the Dow, right? If you don't play the Dow and you only play the SPY like myself or the ES like myself, then you can short your instrument of choice, but don't expect it to move as fast or as far as the relative weakness leader 9 times out of 10, right? It's always that 1, maybe 2 times where they will blast off and be an anomaly, but 9 times out of 10, the one that's the strongest is going to pull back the least. The one that's the strongest is going to pull back the least when it's time to short, right? And as you see, right, the NQ, right? If let's see how far we went down. Let's see how far we shorted on the NQ, right? How far we pulled back, right? That's where we pulled back to today, right? Let's go over here to the ES. Just put a straight line, straight line, straight line, right? Go over here to the Dow, straight line. Okay, so now looking at this, you see how much farther the Dow came down than the ES in the ES in the NQ. The Dow came down here. It's way up under, right? The Dow is almost to the bottom of this consolidation right here. The Dow came almost to the bottom of this consolidation. The NQ is nowhere near the March highs, right? And the ES is the red-headed stepchild in the middle, right? When the Dow and the NQ be polar opposites, the ES is always that red-headed stepchild in the middle. Every blue moon, the ES will lead. But for the most part, it's either going to be the NQ or the Dow that's leading. Every blue moon, the ES will lead, but for the most part, the Dow and the NQ are going to be leading because the big companies in the Dow and the big companies in the NASDAQ are the big companies that's in the S&P 500. So when they disagree, it kind of pulls the S&P in different directions. There you go. We didn't talk about that this morning, but I'm running my mouth. Okay, so then he said, hey, I said, do you want to short the Qs? And he was like, yeah, I'm trying to short the Q. Because I know old Divadio, he's short king. All he want to do is short. That's all he want to do. So that brings us up to where we are right now. That was a run through of everything. And now we're coming back to where we left off. All right. We left off on the 15-minute counter. This whole thing tonight is all about encouraging everybody that you can do this. I'm just a simple dude from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. If I can read this price action and call these levels with a great degree of accuracy, very smart dude. Book-wise, I'm very smart. I'm a very smart dude, but I'm a very simple person, right? I'm very simple. Got a temper sometime. But I'm a very simple person. I need it broke down to the minute little details so that it can make sense to me, because I'm a very simple person. If I can understand the why behind it, oh, I can build you a freaking turbine engine for an M1 tank, right? Now, I said, do you want to short the Qs? He said yes, right? So I was looking at the ES in the NASDAQ. I don't know why I closed that. Let's get the Qs back up. He said yes, he wanted to short the Qs. He was looking at the 15-minute charts, right? He said the NASDAQ has come down into this 15-minute fair value gap and some other stuff, right? So I was looking at the NASDAQ, I was looking at the ES, right? And so I was like, okay, if I was shorting, I think I was actually looking at using the ES when I was talking about it. I can't remember if I was using the NASDAQ or the ES or something like that, right? So I said, let's just go to the NASDAQ because I think I was using the NASDAQ, right? So I said, you want to short it, right? I said this was I forgot to share this too. Right? I forgot to share this too. I also talked about this morning where this is the hourly breaker right there. I'm glad I didn't delete that. This was the hourly breaker. And I talked about this is how ICT gets like a double entry on his breakers, right? I made a short from the top of the fair value gap right here, right? The top of the fair value gap is right there. Pretend like you can still see it, right? Top of the fair value gap is right there, right here somewhat. I made a short from there, right? But the way ICT trades his breakers, right? So we came up and we took out buy side with this high right here, right? Give me an arrow. We took out buy side with this high right here, right? We came up, took out buy side with that high right there. Then we came down and made a low, right? Dipping below this sell side under this candle right here, right? So then we got this low right there, that low on the 8 o'clock slash 7 o'clock candle. That low came up and broke this high right there. It broke that high, breaking market structure bullish, right? This low came up and broke that high. Now, this is what he does. He anticipates, right? When you got a previous high, right? You got a high and a low, and then you blast off and make a higher high, taking out that buy side liquidity. Now, mind you, you got to be done did something significant over here too. Come over here, you came to some kind of level of support, some kind of level of resistance, ran some kind of buy side liquidity, did something of significance, right? Came down, made a low, right? The low don't always got to take out sell side, but you come down and you make a low, right? And then you blast off and take out that high, right? He anticipates this last down close candle being a breaker. He's anticipating that based off of his bearish thesis, right? I had the bearish thesis based off of the fair value gap. I'm just giving it to you how ICT builds the two entries on his breaker. Whenever you see him, when he come up here and he'll put on like all right, he going short 10 contracts. He going short 10 contracts, right? He going short 10 contracts right here, right? So on this candle right there, that candle right, I'll put it up here like this. So on that candle right here, come on, get on the candle. He's going short 10 contracts. Right? On that 5 o'clock / 4 o'clock candle, right? Because he's anticipating this to be, he's anticipating this hourly. How did you get up there? Oh, I extended. I'm sorry. I extended that out to the 15-minute, and I'll show you why I did that in a minute, right? So this hourly breaker right here, he's anticipating this to be an hourly breaker, right? After you take out the buy side liquidity, he's going short 10 contracts right here. I'm just picking a number at that area right there, right? So we talked about this too this morning. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you this. Right now, I'm coming down to the 15-minute, right? We're going to drop down to the 15-minute, right? And the reason why I had adjusted that, because if you look here, here's that same level, and I just adjusted it to the 15-minute to encompass all of these down close candles right there, right? It's that entire drop is red. So I was counting the last down close candle on the hourly, and then I just adjusted it up to incorporate all the down close candles in the 15-minute area. You don't have to do it, right? But I just did it. You know what I'm saying? I just did it right now. And then oh, I just noticed this. I didn't even pay this attention earlier, right? You notice how this 630 / 645 candle came right up to the top of this hourly breaker, right? And dropped. It came to this hourly breaker, this 15-minute fair value gap right here, and into this the wick of this 15-minute breaker right here, right? Because this low broke that high and came down. So you got a 15-minute breaker sitting right there, the wick of it, on top of this hourly breaker, and this candle came right there. I just noticed that. I didn't notice, but so forgetting all of that. Now, right? So boom, you come here. Now that I'm looking at this 15-minute right there, that would have been another place that ICT would have scaled in right there. He would have scaled in some more contracts right here, right? He would have scaled in some more contracts right there, right? Because I just noticed that breaker right there. I wasn't paying attention to that early this morning, but he would have scaled in some more contracts right there, right? We're going to give him 5 right there. He's going to build a 20 contract position in my example right here, right? He would put on 5 right there. Why would he have put on 5 right there? Because we came down, got a break in market structure to the downside, right? We got a break. Yep. Because right there, this right here, this here, he would have used this right here as an entry somewhere. Probably would have did it like on a 1 minute right there where I'm pointing at right there. Because you see how we went up into that up close candle right there and sold off. It's something on the 1 minute he would have used to get in. But I ain't gonna go that far. We didn't go that far this morning. Now, back to that breaker. Once we came down and made this a breaker, this right here is where we, as the students of his trading the breakers, would have got into the position. But he would have been completing we would have got in there. He would have been completing a 20 contract scale in at that point right there. At that point right there, he would have been completed a 20-point scale in at that point there. Me personally, I went short from the top of the order block, on top of the fair value gap down to this low right here, right? But I watched this videos a million times. I already know after taking out that buy side, this low, taking out that high, he would anticipate this to be a breaker. Got in up here, came down, added a little bit more right there, right? Because he always get in above the breaker, right? Get in up there, added a little bit more right there, and added a little bit more on the breaker, and then took it down, right? And took it down. He wouldn't have tried to add no more down here, because once you get down, once you come here and start going back up, right, this fair value gap is in the discount now. He will only make moves in the premium for selling, right? This fair value gap right there, he wouldn't have added nothing to that. He would only add as long as you're still in the premium of the short, right? Just putting it out there. Now, that's everything I shared this morning. Now let's go back to where we left off with Dividio, right? I closed the NQ again. I'm not opening it no more, right? Oh no, I got to open it because I was talking about that. Now that brings us back to that. I didn't close it. That brings us back to what we were saying. 15-minute candles. He wanted to short the NQ, right? He wanted to short the Qs. So I said it would behoove you to be shorting the SPY instead of the Qs, because the SPY was weaker than the Qs. The Qs was the relative strength leader, right? Now, where we left off was, I said, looking at this where we are, right? Looking at this where we are, we've come down here. We were like down here. We was down here, right? I said where we are, like we couldn't see none of this right here. All this right here was blocked out. Let me block all that out. We couldn't see none of that right there, right? Right? We had come down here, right? Like this. I said, look, we've come all the way down to this fair value gap down here, over here on the SPY. We've come to this fair value gap. And then I was like, now we're at a destination. We're getting divergence. I said, this is a time for it to pop back up. I was like, if you want to buy this here, I would only target the fair value gaps up here, right at this break-in market structure. I would not try to go any higher than that. This fair value gap right here on the SPY, this fair value gap right here on the NQ, and whatever was on the Dow, right? I was like, you could buy it from here, but I wouldn't go no higher than this, right? I would only target that right there, right? And then short it back down. Don't chase the short now. Selling the premium, buying the discount, right? So that's what I said then. And then as we move forward, right, with the value, with the beauty of hindsight, now on the NQ, we got right up and just barely failed to get into that fair value gap right there. And on the ES, we came up and we did get into the fair value gap, right? I don't trade the NQ, I trade the ES. So when I call stuff, I know what I expect to see on the ES. It came very close on the NQ, but on the ES, it came exactly to where I was talking about. Right there, right? It came into this order block, into that fair value gap. On the NQ, right? It came up above the order block, but it didn't make it to the fair value gap. I see the NQ was a little bit sloppier with the price. The ES was a little bit more on point with the price. I don't trade NQ. I don't know if that's a common thing, but I said all that to say, at this time in the day, right there, this is what the candles was looking like right here, because I moved it all the way down to the low that was in there. No, we had a green candle there. Boom. We were working on that green candle right there, I believe. Right? No. We weren't that far along. We was not that far along. It was we were here. Right there. We were here. That's because I was like, man, it's 11 o'clock. I got to leave. Right? We were there. That's what we were right there. Because I remember. This is the candle we was working on right there. Right? This 11:15 candle. Because I was like, it's 11 o'clock. We got to leave. I got to leave. Right? So I was like, look, you getting down to the area where you can buy off of, because we've come a long way. Right? And you want to come back up to the to the premium to sell. Right? And now, with the benefit of hindsight, you see, we came back up, right? We came back up to the premium, right? If you go all the way to the low, get all the way to the low, we came back up to the premium just above equilibrium, right? And then we pushed back down, right? We pushed back down. We didn't get all the way back down, but, you know, we hadn't made the bulk of the move in the morning. I was saying all that to say, if you do the work, if you understand the concepts, it is possible to call the market. It's possible to call the market. It's possible to time the market, right? And the reason why I was saying that you don't want to try to chase it here and get short, because look how far we had come. Look how far we had come, right? Look at that. That's how far we had come, right? We had come this far. We had come a mighty long way. That's a huge move, right? Now, why did I feel like it was okay to short from this area right here, right? Because this entire move has two stages, right? This is the entire move. This is stage A right there. Don't get it confused. Elliot ain't riding no waves, as ICT like to say. Right? That's stage A. Right? On stage A, we got back above equilibrium. Right? We got back above equilibrium. Right? So then, boom, when we go to stage B, since we got back above equilibrium on stage A, you do not anticipate price wanting to go all the way back up there. Right? You don't anticipate price wanting to go all the way back up there, because we just, you know what I'm saying, we sold off, came back up to the premium, and sold off again. So in this price leg right there, now this breaking market structure and this fair value gap and this mitigation block right here, because this is a mitigation block. We can't, no. Sorry, that breaker right there, because we got a high there. This breaker, right? This breaker, this fair value gap, this breaking market structure are all at equilibrium of this piece of the price leg. So if you still want to follow the short after making such a great move, this would be the area to try to take you short. How do I know that? By studying, back testing, understanding the concepts. If you follow the concepts, study, back test, put in the work, you can understand it too. Right? You can understand it too. And shout out I just saw this. I just peeked over there and saw that and said higher time frame PD arrays are the best. The one thing I didn't say today, but this all started from yesterday when we was talking about we had come up into another breaking market structure, fair value gap on the daily. So as you see, price is fractal. The exact same thing we just looked at on the 15-minute, right? The exact same thing we just looked at on the 15-minute, right? What did we say? We said a breaker, a fair value gap, a breaking market structure. We came back up into it, sold down, right? On the daily. This is how we started. This is how we started the day before, right? This is how we started the day before. We had a breaker. We had a breaker, a fair value gap, and a breaking market structure. All right there at equilibrium or above. Now, these are daily candles. And we just looked at the same thing on this is where it started. This is where the short idea started. Breaker, fair value gap at the breaking market structure above equilibrium. That was the whole premise behind shorting from the top of this daily fair value gap. That was the whole premise that started the short from the top of the daily fair value gap. Breaker, fair value gap at the breaking market structure that was at equilibrium or higher. That's what started it. The higher time frame narrative was short in this area right here, right? So after we went down, we just kept going lower and lower, looking for the same thing, looking for reasons to short, going lower and lower. Breaker, fair value gap, sell off, right? Breaker, fair value gap, breaking market structure above equilibrium. Exact same thing, right? 15-minute. Breaker, fair value gap, breaking market structure above equilibrium. Get off my screen. Price is fractal. Price is fractal. If you do the work, if you learn the concepts, you do the work. How do you do the work? You go back and you look through price, like how I'm going back through this right here now, right? Even though we actually looked at this while price was spelling it out, right? You go back and you just find stuff like this, right? You go and look for your setup. Go look for your setup through price action over and over and over and over until your eyeballs start sweating. Go through it and look for it over and over and over. Manipulate your mind into thinking you saw it in real time. Then start watching price. If you got a 9-to-5 job and you're not privy to hanging out with me in the Spider Gang, where you can go back and look at the recordings after you get off from work, get Ninja Trader for free, and you can go back and replay it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to do like the day before, but you can go back, you can download the data and replay it and just watch it in real time and see if you can anticipate what it's going to do, because reading the price live, tape reading, as it's called, it lets you look at price here and not see what's to the right. And then you have to make a decision. right? You have to make a decision, be it right or wrong. You just make your decision, and then the more you do it, the more accurate you will become, because you're just doing what you saw back here. You saw it over and over and over and over, and then you come over here and you start to trust the process, and you start to do it over and over and over and over, and you know what I'm saying, you build your confidence, right? You build your confidence in your model. You build your confidence in your setup. Then you start sim trading, and that's going to help you grow the patience to sit through trades when we're in market conditions like we in now. The trades aren't coming like every day. You sitting in trades for 15, 20, 30 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes, sometimes an hour. And it is painstaking to sit in them trades, but you have to sim trade and build your patience up to be able to sit through those trades. But you got to do the work. And when you do the work, it will be effective. It will happen. When you get your aha moment, you're going to be like, this old foolish behind joker from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, living in Columbus, Georgia, sounding like a country bumpkin, was right. Was right. Let me see what y'all talk about in the chat. What say, Michelle? Agree, special. What Lil Hawk said? Oh yeah, the higher time frame PD arrays. Yes, higher time frame PD arrays. They go, man. They go. And as y'all just see, the exact same setup was on the daily, the hourly, and the 15-minute. As y'all just saw, the exact same, because price is fractal. Price is fractal. What y'all talk about in the chat? What's up, Robinson? When you pulled up in here? I got wrecked today. Will not trade OPEX again. Hey, shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. Was you FC? You wasn't on here this morning? Were you on here, FC? If you was on here this morning, put a 1 in the chat. If you wasn't on here, put a 2 in the chat. That's just for FC, not for everybody, Robinson. FC, if you was on here this morning, put a 1 in the chat. If you wasn't, put a 2 in the chat. Tim is kicking people out today, so you better. No, Robinson cool. Robinson cool. I just banned Stan Bam. I just banned him. He out of there. You're not always on your best behavior. You feel me? Now I need to be who got booted. What's up, fam? Didn't trade this week. I've been looking at price action to jump in next week. That's what's up, Sanjay. Keep looking at that price action. That 6 o'clock entry for the bearish breaker was 5. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. See, Captain Kirk took it for the breaker. I took it for the I took it earlier. Yeah, for the fair value gap. And then he said 6 o'clock. Right there, 6 o'clock right here. Boom, right there on that breaker right there. So he took it on a breaker right there. Right there. They got another one right there. It did it again. It was another one on the 15-minute right there. Breaker, fair value gap, breaking market structure, all that equilibrium. Right? It did it again up there. I just noticed that. I wasn't trying to show y'all the screen. I was just looking over there. High time frame PD array. I appreciate the fire emojis. Appreciate the green hearts, especially for 9-5. Preach. I knew he was gonna do it. Kind of both, Tim. I'm on vacation, so wasn't fully paying attention. My bad. It's all gravy. And the reason why I asked you that, if you was on there, and I'm just gonna repeat it again. I think I repeated it earlier. It's not really a rule. It's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like something that you follow, It's not really a rule, but it's like things that you follow. What's the word I'm looking for? um it's not a rule, but it's like kind of like something that you follow to like good practice. It ain't really good practice, but we just gonna go with good practice because I can't find the word right now. But um if I've had a profitable week, no matter if I've taken losses, if I'm up in the week, right? Not really checklist, but if I'm it's kind of like it not trading plan. It ain't got nothing to do with like trading for real. It's like habits, not really habits. Like cause when you got like a rule, it's something you have to do, but you got like kind of like what I'm saying, like just good things to do. It's not you just follow like these good things to do to like kind of keep yourself out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's not really habits, but it's like um man, it's a best practice, ritual, guidelines. We gonna go with guidelines because I'm not gonna agree with Robinson right now. Robinson is right. Robinson is right, but I'm not gonna agree with him right now. Hey, FC, get off my screen, right? I ain't gonna agree with Robinson right now, but he's right, right? So, all right, it's like, so what I do if I'm profitable on the week, right? I do not take a trade on Friday because I refuse to give it back on Friday, right? If I'm profitable on the week, if I'm down on the week, right? I do not take a trade on Friday because it's like I get enticed into trying to revenge trade to get it back. I'm risking it for the Rari, right? If I'm up on the week, I do not trade on Friday because I'm not going to risk it for the biscuit. I'm not going to get greedy, right? I'm not going to get greedy. And so I just don't trade on Friday. If I have to push a button, I sim trade, right? That's what, and I said, I invite you all to implement that into your trading. And hey, but it happens to the best of us. We get wrecked on days, and you know um I will say this: if you can notice a pattern of you getting wrecked on OPEX, if you can notice a pattern of you getting wrecked on OPEX, then I would say you should implement no more trading on OPEX, right? But if you can't go back and look through your journal and see a distinct pattern of I always get wrecked on OPEX, then I invite you to, what I'm saying, not just discount it because of OPEX, because it may not be OPEX, it may just be an off date. Because today was a very good trading day. It was slow, but it was a very good trading day. Um, it was like trades to be taken to the long side and to the short side. But like I was saying, when you trade, I said this morning too, and I'll say it again now. If we're in an environment where there's divergence, we can't marry and try to hold on to a move for too long. We got to be Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over the candlestick. You know what I'm saying? So when we're dealing with the divergence between the Dow, the ES, and the NQ, what that means is when the market starts moving in the direction, the likelihood of that move continuing for very long lessens, right? So when we get in, we got to have a specified target and get out. And what I try to do, right? What I try to do, whatever my target is, right? I try to only get into trades where if you're a note taker and you like to like implement stuff into your own thing, you might want to write this down and take, because this is something that I do. Whatever my target is, because all of this is predetermined before you should be getting into a trade. If you got a 5-point target, a 10-point target, a 20-point target, whatever your target is, right? You want to make sure that the move is going to allow for well above your target. If you, I've been on here for an hour. IG just shut down. I'm sorry, I've been on here so long, y'all. For those who know. Sorry, I've been on here so long. We about to wrap it up. If you going for 5 points, you want the move. And when I say the move, see this move right here, right? We've come from, let me move all this junk out the way. I need that one. Okay. So let me put prices back in. Price levels, right? So we're going to look at the price levels. Let me move the levels out of the way. The levels aren't important right now. I guess I should leave them extended. I don't want them extended because the price too far away. All right. Okay, so looking at this right here, right? We got a breaking market structure to the downside, right? We got a fair value gap. We got a breaker right here. This is tempting to short. I want to short this all day long, right? I want to short this. We came here and I want to short right here. This is where the price I want to short at. We're going to use this price on the fib so that for easy math, right? I want to short at 3. I want to short at 39.6275. 62.75. 39, 30, God dog it. 39.6275, right? Right. What's your target? We're going with a 10 point. We're going with a 5-point target. We're going with a 5-point target. That's what we're going to do. Minus 5. 39.57. Give me a line. Oh my goodness. Did I put that right in the exact spot? Look at that. I put it right in the exact spot. Look at God. Look at God. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you want your move, right? You want your move to be like, so if you're entering here, you're entering at the breaker, the fair value gap above the breaking market structure, right? This right here is equilibrium of the move when it bounced back up. This is equilibrium, right? You're going in right at equilibrium because equilibrium is right here at the fair value gap, right at the breaker. You know what I'm saying? You're just going in right there, right? Because if you look there, you're pretty much, you know what I'm saying, a little bit above mean threshold of the breaker. You're just poking into like maybe the lower quarter of the fair value gap, all of that right there. But you want your destination right here, because if you get short there, you're anticipating coming down to take out this low, right? You want that low or that fair value gap or whatever you're targeting to be greater than your profit target that you want. That way you have a high probability of being successful in that trade. This will lower your loss rate if you're looking for trades that fall well within the target, right? So looking at this trade right here, there's a, what I do with my calculator? Looking at that price leg right there, right? 39.6275 minus the low right there, 39.33, 39.33. That's a 29.75 point move. That's a 30-point move, right? That's a 30-point move right there. So you can realistically shoot for at least 15 points in here and be very comfortable. right? You can shoot for at least 15 points in here and be very comfortable. Why? Because we got a breaking market structure, right? We got a heavy breaking market structure down, right? We got a breaker and a fair value gap on a bearish day. And when you come back into it, you could realistically, from the low to the point you're trying to get in, that's a 30-point move. You can realistically shoot for 15 points comfortably, right? Because you're anticipating price to come back down and take out that low right there. But if it decides it wants to stop at this order block right here, right? Because coming back up, right? You see coming back up, you see it forming a potential order block right there, right? It's forming a potential order block right there coming back up. But you're not counting this as an order block, right? You're just counting it as a speed bump because you're anticipating price to take out this low because we had such a massive closure below this low, right? We came down, took out the sell stops and wick back, and then we immediately went down and closed below that. So the market is saying, I want to go this way now, right? And so since the market want to go this way now, you're anticipating this low to get taken out after coming back to this breaker, right? So you're looking at this like, that ain't gonna be no order block. It's just gonna be a little speed bump, right? And with the benefit of hindsight, we see it did come down and take out them lows, right? But even if it did want to stop right there, right? Even if it wanted to stop right here at the open of this potential order block, right? What's that? I can't see it over there. So I'm just going to put my line there. And we're just going to call that 39.43, 39.43.25, right? 39.43.25. 39.62.75 minus 39.43.25. 19 points. 19 points. Did I just not say you can go for at least 15 comfortably? Why? Because that's half of the move. You can go for at least 15 comfortably. Even if it stopped there, 15 points, you would have had 15 points. Right. I think that's all I got. Let me see. FC Tim talked about that earlier this week. You were not on vacation. You brought your family to work. Petty Wright, is that you? Petty Wright, is that you? You both are correct, and my family called me out on it too. Hey, it happens to the best of us, FC. Look here. I told y'all about when I was in Las Vegas, we supposed to be heading to the Grand Canyon, and I was in there yelling at the computer. My wife said, if that's how you're going to be acting, you need to find something else to do. Again, are you on vacation or is your family at work with you? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. Hey, players mess up too. Players mess up too. Hey, man. Hey, that's all I got, man. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully I was able to share something that somebody got something out of today. I really wanted to put a little bit. I've been putting a little extra into it all week. I've been putting a little extra into it all week because, like I say, I've been noticing a lot of names that I don't know, and I try to remember the names because I really appreciate y'all pulling up. I've been noticing a lot of names that I don't know, so I try to add the value, if you will, in the live streams and not just say this is what price did. I try to go back and because like I always say, we have people that's new to the concepts. We have people that's not as far along in the concepts, and we have people that's just plumb lazy. And I honestly want to help everybody. I want to help everybody. If you're lazy, I want to help you too. If you're not far along, I definitely want to help you. If you don't just get it, you ain't get your aha moment. You are the one that I'm talking to every single day. I'm the person that's this close to getting the aha moment. That's who I'm talking to every day, because I'm here to help you get your aha moment, right? But I want to help everybody. That I feel like that's what God gifted me with, the gift of helping people. So that's why I do what I do. Hopefully I was able to share something that somebody picked up. Somebody could pick up what I'm putting down. Y'all know how I like to end it, man. Y'all know how I like to end it. God is so good and my wife is amazing. I'm very appreciative of everything I have, especially my loved ones. That's why I do what I do, because I was tired of trading my time for money. So I was looking for a reason. I was looking for a way to be able to stop trading my time for money, right? My why is my family. My beautiful wife, y'all can see her back there in the corner over there. That's a picture that a local artist drew for me. I commissioned him to do like a few pictures, right? That's one of them right there. My kids, right? They mean everything to me, right? Take the opportunity to let your loved ones know that you love them today. Don't wait till tomorrow. If you got something that's unresolved between you and a loved one, even you and a friend, take care of that right now while you got the opportunity today, because ain't nobody promised tomorrow. Nobody's promised tomorrow. And what you don't want to happen, and I'm speaking from experience, what you don't want to happen is that tomorrow never gets here because they gone. That's a pain you don't want to live with. Fix it. What was that movie? What was that movie when the old lady was like, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. Tell your loved ones that you love them today. Don't just say it, don't just show it. Say it, show it, and confirm it, because you can put in all this effort and be doing all you can to show them that you love them, but you're not speaking in their love language. So they're not receiving that love you're trying to give, right? How do you figure out what their love language is? Communication. Open up the lines of communication. You know what I'm saying? Figure out what they need to be able to not only understand, right? But the communication is going to help them be able to reciprocate, because they may be doing all they can to let you know that they love you, but you're not receiving it. You feeling neglected, you feeling used, you feeling abused, but y'all not communicating. Everybody just quiet because they don't want to make waves. They don't want to rock the boat. Don't put it off till tomorrow. Do it today. If your parents still alive, call them. Take advantage, man. If your parents are still alive, call them. Tell them that you love them. Express it. If for nothing else, just to make them feel better. Because you know why? Our parents sacrifice so much for us that we don't really get until we become parents ourselves. I go above. You can ask anybody who know me and my mother, from my family to my friends to my church family. I go above and beyond. To even with my mother-in-law, before my mother-in-law passed, anything I thought my mama or my mother-in-law need, even if they didn't tell me they need it, I should tell my wife, whatever your mama need. She knew. I go above and beyond to let them know that you are loved, and the work that you did, your work is not going to turn onto you void. It's not going to come back to you void. I refuse. As long as I got breath in me, y'all going to be taken care of. I love you that much. Take advantage, man. And I'm like that because I put off till tomorrow with my daddy, and I refuse to do it with my mama. Refuse to do it with my mama. I put tomorrow never came with my daddy, right? So take advantage, man. I'm talk y'all ear off. I'm sorry, I jalapies. Black Spiders and Gold members, I'll see y'all Sunday at 3:00 for the weekend chart prep. Enjoy your weekend, man. Give yourself a brain break. Whatever day of the week you decide to study the charts, give yourself a brain break until that specific time, relax with your family, enjoy your weekend, you know, do what you're gonna do, and then at that specific time that you set aside to study the market, go study the market, then go back and be with your family, man. I appreciate y'all. I, let me see. Yeah, that's it, man. All right. Appreciate y'all. Gone.